Hey guys, Mr. Hussey here, 8th grade math. Just want to remind you that God is our refuge and strength and ever-present help in trouble. I'm going to try to make this lesson a little shorter today. We're going to learn about something called standard form. All right. Standard form is when things are written like ax plus by equals c. Okay, so something x plus something y equals something. All right. We've been learning something called slope-intercept form. And slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So please write these down, all right? Where m is what we call the slope, and b is what we call the y-intercept, or what I like to say is where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay, so we've been learning it in slope-intercept form. Now we're going to learn things in standard form. All right. So what they want you to be able to do today is they want you to be able to convert things from standard form to slope-intercept form. So from this to that. All right, I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, so let's look at example number 1. Okay, if you have the notes today and you're working off these notes, you can pause the video real quick and you can write down number 1 and 2. So the steps you can use are to add and subtract ax to move it to the other side, and then divide all the terms by b. But I'll show you how to do that. If you don't have these notes, you don't have to write that down. I'll just show you. All right, so let's look at number 1. Number 1 says x plus y equals -2. In our job, the directions say to rewrite each equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, so remember that this right now is in standard form. Okay, so we have ax, we have something x plus something y equals something. So it's written in this form. So something x plus something y equals something. Okay, and we get it into y equals mx plus b. Okay, so we have the y over here, which is good, but we got to get this over there. Okay, so how do we get rid of that x? Okay, subtract an x from both sides. And here what we have is x minus an x gives me nothing, right? So we have y equals, and then over here, I have -2 minus x, but I want it in that form where it's something x plus b. So I'm just going to rewrite it as y equals, I'm just going to take this -x and put it in the front so that it lines up with this form, y equals mx plus b. And then the plus b will be this -2. So it's going to say -x minus 2. That's your answer, number 1. Okay. Number 2. Okay. We have it in ax plus by equals c, right? Because we have something x plus something y equals something. That's what we call standard form. Mrs. O'Brien will talk about this. Mr. Kane will talk about this in high school. Standard form. All right. So to get it from standard form into slope-intercept form, we're going to go ahead. We have our y equals, right? Y equals. So now I just got to find a way to get this over there. So in this case, let's go ahead and plus 4x. This will cross off. You'll have y equals. Let's take this. It would be 5 plus 4x, right? But let's put it in this form, mx. So let's take this 4x, put it in the front, 4x. And then the plus b is this 5. So y equals 4x plus 5. And now we have it in what we call slope-intercept form. Okay, let's look at number 6. We'll skip down to number 6. Okay, so we want to get it into slope-intercept form. Right now it's in standard form. So we want the y over here, okay? So let's get this x over here first. I'm going to minus an x from here, minus an x from here. This side will cross off because x minus x is nothing. We'll drop down to negative 2y equals, and then this will be, let's just set it up here. So let's put our x, this negative x here in the front. So this will be negative x plus 16. Okay, and this problem's a little different than those first two, because those first two we just had y. This time we have negative 2y. So we have to divide this by negative 2, and then divide this whole thing by negative 2. So what you'll get is you'll get y is equal to, and then we have to like handle this individually. So negative x over negative 2 plus 16, or plus 16. I just put that plus so you didn't get confused, but plus 16 over negative 2. Okay, now let's think how we can simplify this. So it's going to say y equals, this will be x over 2, or another way of saying it is like 1/2 x, because it's really saying like 1x over 2. So another way of saying it is like half of x. That's how you'll see it like written in the textbooks. Plus 16 divided by negative 2 is negative 8. So actually that won't be a plus, that will be minus 8. Okay. All right, let's do one more, and then I'm going to have you guys do some for practice. All right, so what they want you to do, and this will be on your practice problems, is they're going to want you to do what we just did and then graph it, okay? So in this case here, we are going to, so on some of your problems, you're going to have to refer back to this problem where we divided by negative 2 at the end. Like this one here, when you end up with a negative 5y, you're going to have to divide both sides by negative 5. Okay, so on your practice problems today, you may need to refer back to this one. All right, so for this one, we wanted to convert it to slope-intercept form. It's in ax plus by equals c, so it's in standard form. We want to get it to slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So we're going to minus 3x from both sides of the equal sign. This will cross off. So we'll get y equals, and then we have, you can't take 5 minus 3x because they're not like terms, they're two different terms. So we're going to take our negative 3x and just put it up here so that we have the something x in front is what we want for the slope-intercept form. And then this 5 would come down, it's almost like this one drops here and this one drops here. So be y equals negative 3x plus 5. Okay, now they want us to graph it. So we have to remember what these mean in slope-intercept form. This is where it crosses the y-axis. So in this case, it crosses the y-axis at plus 5. So we'll put a dot there. And then this number is the slope, right? The m is the slope, which is rise over run. So in this case, if our slope is negative 3, how can we get that through a rise and a run? Well, I always like to make the run 1. So if the run were 1, what's the rise? The rise is negative 3, okay? Negative 3 over 1 is the slope of negative 3. So every time I run 1, I drop 3. If I run 1, I drop 1, 2, 3. If I run 1, I drop 3. And that right there produces my line. Okay, So that's going to be your work for today. I uploaded 2 documents. This is the first one, the one we did our work on. If you need to do that on separate paper, that's fine. You may just have to pause my video and take a few extra minutes to do that. And then this document, the one that says homework 7, is going to be your practice problems. So you'll practice these 4 problems, 1, 2, 3, 4 on your own. You'll change it from what we call standard form to slope-intercept form each time. And then once you've done that, you'll go ahead and graph the problem. All right. So God bless you guys. Hope you're having a good day. Take care.